أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وشفينا أبي القاسم محمد الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيد ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله أما بعد يقول الله في كتابه الكريم والفرقان الحميد وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات اللهم صل على. How did women play a role during the era of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam? We hear about a number of valorous and brave companions of Imam Ali from the male side. However, seldom or hardly do we hear about female companions of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. There were a plethora of inspirational women who stood up for justice. Many women were suppressed by these oppressive regimes. Maya Angelou, civil rights activist and poet, states, "You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. Therefore, if you undergo trials and tribulations, understand that it is part of your growing process. It is part of your evolving journey." In fact, women-led countries, if we look at things contemporarily, women-led countries performed better in terms of the coronavirus pandemic compared to male-run countries. There was a study conducted of 194 countries, and it concluded with this particular statement, that female-led countries provided better solutions to the current crisis as compared to male-led countries. Now again, we have good male leaders and good female leaders, but this study concluded that the female leaders, the women leaders, performed better. Countries such as the UK, US, Brazil, Italy recorded higher deaths compared to countries run by women. Look at countries like New Zealand. The Prime Minister, one of the great leaders of our times, Jacinda Ardern. Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, their president. In Finland, you had Sanna Marin as the Prime Minister. So these countries performed better. In today's dynamic and ever-evolving world, women are excelling. Let us look at a few examples of women who have excelled and are great leaders and examples. Number one, our own president, Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan. She became president at a very turbulent time for our country. We lost Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, our former president, who brought about great infrastructure reforms, great changes within the system. However, we lost him, and for a country to lose a leader is not a joke. Regardless of your political ideology, you'd recognize that losing a leader is a tough task for an entire nation. However, Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan, with her tenderness, with her soft-spoken nature, with her humbleness and humility, she was able to calm the country down. And because of the constitution of our country, the vice president becomes president. And therefore we have Mama Samia Suluhu as the first female president of Tanzania. Further than that, Greta Thunberg. She is a Swedish activist who started a worldwide movement on climate change. Thunberg started out by holding school strikes for climate change. She would sit outside the Swedish parliament along with a few of her friends and protest. And this protest got traction, and thanks to her, the entire world has started analyzing this problem of climate change. You have Ilhan Omar, the first Somali American in Congress. Ilhan Omar. She and Rashida Tlaib are the first two Muslim women in the American Congress. Therefore, we shall analyze the untold stories of stalwart and inspirational women during the era of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Number one, Ummul Khair, the daughter of Huraysh bin Suraqa al-Bariqiyya. She was loyal to Imam Ali, possessed an unparalleled eloquence. And she even accompanied Imam Ali during the battle of Siffin. Muawiyah invited Ummul Khair to his court and said, "Oh Ummul Khair, on the day of the battle of Siffin, where Ammar ibn Yasir died, there was a panic." Right? Ammar ibn Yasir, one of the greatest companions and Sahaba of Rasulullah, when he died, there was a great panic. But you delivered remarks. You delivered an address, a monumental speech. What exactly did you say? So Ummul Khair said, "I am willing to deliver that speech right now." But then Muawiyah got frightened. He said, "No, if you give this speech right now, there will be a revolution." Because he knew the eloquence and the oratory skills of Ummul Khair al-Bariqiyah. So a man in the court said, "I remember her speech. I distinctively recall." And this is found in the book Balaghat an-Nisa, page number 55, and Al-Iqd al-Farid, volume 1, page 354. This man says, "It's as if I see Ummul Khair al-Bariqiyah before me, sitting on her grey camel, wearing a Yemeni cloth and holding a whip in her hand. She roared like a lion, inciting the fighters to battle. And she said, 'O people, verily God has made the truth manifest, His proof evident and His path lucent and knowledge exalted. He did not leave you in blindness and darkness. Are you fleeing from the path of Amir al-Mu'mineen? Are you willing to turn away from the truth?'" And this is Allah's call. Allah in the Quran says, Surah Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 70, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu attaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida." O you who believe, attain righteousness and speak what is just and true. Speak the truth. And then verse 71, Allah says, "Yuslihu lakum a'malakum." And then Allah will reform your actions and your deeds. So Muawiyah threatened to assassinate Ummul Khair. Ummul Khair replies by saying, "I swear to God, I am happily willing to die." So Ummul Khair, loyal to Imam Ali, stalwart, number one. Number two, Asma bint Abu Bakr, the daughter of Abu Bakr and the wife of Zubair bin Awwam. In a narration within A'lam an-Nisa, volume 1, page 52, it says that Asma lived for 100 years. Now that's amazing. May Allah give you all the ability to live for 100 years. With good health. Just like Asma. Asma actually lived for 100 years. Not one of her tooth, not a single tooth fell out. All her teeth were intact. Furthermore, she hadn't lost the ability to think. The Battle of Yarmouk in 636 is regarded as one of the most decisive battles in military history. But do you know who enabled the Muslims to win? Not the men, the women and the children. And Hind ibn Utbah, Asma bint Abu Bakr were two of the women who were involved in this battle. And they fought extremely hard because they saw that the men are being killed. What do we do? And further than that, she was loyal to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, supported the Imam. Not only supported Imam Ali, supported his son Hussein. She took a strong stand against Yazid over the killing of Imam Hussein. And there was a war between Abdul Malik ibn Marwan and her son Abdullah ibn Zubair. Asma gave her son motivation. Asma said, "Live and die with dignity." Also, Asma was known for her generosity. In one of her quotes, she says, "Don't sit around waiting for your wealth to increase. Know that if you give charity, your wealth will automatically increase." And this is Buddha saying, Buddha, the spiritual teacher and the founder of Buddhism. He says, "If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path." Beautiful quote. So number one, Ummul Khair al-Bariqiyah. Number two, Asma bint Abu Bakr. Number three, Qanwa, the daughter of Rushayd al-Hijri. According to A'yan al-Shia, volume 32, page number 6. And the book, An Overview of the Mahdi's Government, written by Ayatollah Najmuddin Tabasi. Imam Ali tells Rushayd al-Hijri that, "Oh Rushayd, you will lose your life because you support me too much. You love me too much." Rushayd said, "Even if I lose my life, I will continue loving you." On one occasion, Ibn Ziyad summoned Rushayd al-Hijri. Hijri said, "I do not wish to meet that man." Ibn Ziyad then said, "Very well then, amputate his hands and amputate his legs." So they amputated his hands and his legs. Then Rushayd al-Hijri, almost as though he was crucified near a tree, he looked towards the men and he said, "Let me tell you the truth about Ali ibn Abi Talib." And what did Rushayd al-Hijri do? He started speaking. He started delivering an address. Ibn Ziyad straight away said, slit this man's tongue, cut off his tongue. And then Qanwa looked towards her father and she said, oh father, are you okay? Are you alright? The father said, oh my daughter, do not worry. The father then passed away. The daughter cleaned the blood of her father, took the dead body. And Qanwa then says, oh my father, as much as you love Ali, I too love Imam Ali. Qanwa could have said that my father lost his life because of his love for Ali. But the daughter said, no, oh my father, my support is there for you. As much as you love Ali, I love Ali. You love the truth, I love the truth as well. And this is Desmond Tutu saying, when he says, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If you sign deals with countries that oppress minorities, then you are committing a crime, because you are siding with the oppressor. So that's another one, Qanwa. Number 4, Darimi al-Hujuniya. She was a black woman from the tribe of Banu Kinana. Her eloquent, strong reasoning has been praised immensely in books. And she was a follower of Imam Ali. And although she was in a minority, not a majority of people supported Imam Ali, but she always used her reasoning. Now you may think, if I use my reasoning, I'll be labeled, I'll be shunned. But Allah in the Quran says in Surah 29, Ankabut, verse 63, Bal aktharuhum la ya'qilun. Majority of the people don't use their intellect. A lot of people, they don't use their brain. The prophets were mocked, the prophets were labeled. Darimi al-Hujuniya wasn't scared of being labeled. Allah says, Surah 43, Zukhruf, verse 7, وَمَا يَأْتِيهِم مِّن نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. But there would not come to them a prophet except that they used to ridicule him. So Darimi al-Hujuniya was in the presence of Muawiyah, and Muawiyah asked a very intelligent question. Muawiyah said, I am extremely powerful. Why don't you admire me like you admire Ali? Darimi says, I love Ali because of his justice to his subjects. And he distributed the public wealth evenly. He was the friend of the homeless and the destitute. You are an enemy because you have spilled people's blood unjustly and you have spread corruption. Muawiyah then got angry. He says, oh Darimiya, have you seen Ali? Darimiya says, yes I have. He lives a life of simplicity and is a humble man. Have you heard him speak? She says, yes, he is a man of eloquence. He is one of the best orators that we have. In order to silence her, Muawiyah took out some money, bribe, and says, take this bribe, and don't speak about Imam Ali. And then Muawiyah said, Ali would have never given you this money. Darimiya then replies by saying, Ali would have never given me this money because it is public wealth. Ali would never unjustly or unevenly distribute public wealth. She said, I will not accept this bribe. Darimiya used her reasoning, her aqal. That's number 4. Number 5, and I end my talk with number 5. An inspirational and stalwart woman during the era of Ali, Arwa bint al-Harith. Arwa was so eloquent that whenever she spoke, others would feel inadequate. Sometimes when you have these programs, like I attend these public speaking programs, and I hear someone talk, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, do I have to follow up this talk? Like this person has actually killed it, and now I have to go next. So Arwa was like this. Muawiyah once told all his men in the courtyard, all his servants, all the professors and the scholars there, that the fact that she gave a speech right now, even if she allows a Q&A session, none of you will be able to question what she said. Zainab Fawaz, a literary woman, historian, writer, she says Arwa was one of the most wise and eloquent people of her era. She did wonders when she lectured, and her speech was succinct, clear, precise. She was the child of eloquence, the essence of fluency, and a wise and insightful person. Who? Follower of Imam Ali. I end my talk with a quote from Les Brown, when he says, too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living in our fears. These women teach us that we must not live in our fears, but we should overcome our fears and pursue our dreams and our goals. Sometimes you have people who say that no, women will not be in the army of the Mahdi. No, One of the women mentioned tonight, Qanwa. The Imam says, follow Qanwa. Learn from her, the daughter of Rushayd al-Hijri. And you have a chance to be with the Mahdi. The Holy Prophet empowered women. The Imams empowered women. Many other prominent companions are also discussed in history. Asma' bint Umays, Sauda bint Imara, Layla al-Ghafariya. However, we shall not dissect all of them, perhaps on another occasion. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And there were many brave and stalwart women in Karbala. Women like Zainab bint Ali, Kulthum, Sakina bint al-Hussein, the daughter of Abu Abdullah, Layla, Rabab, Ramla, so on and so forth. However, tonight we remember the mother who sacrificed her 6-month-old baby. Some narrations call him Abdullah, and is also referred to as Asghar because he was the infant baby of Imam al-Hussein. Mukhtar al-Thaqafi relates the tragedy of Ali Asghar. Mukhtar al-Thaqafi catches Hurmala bin Kahin and he says, what did you do in Karbala? Hurmala says, I shot 7 arrows in Karbala. 3 missed their target, 4 hit their target. Hurmala then says that the 4 that hit their target, number 1, Hazrat Abul Fadl al-Abbas. I shot an arrow and it hit Abbas. Normally when people fall down, when you fall down anywhere, you fall with your hands. However, Abbas had no hands. He fell from his horse with no hands. Abul Fadl al-Abbas. The second arrow I shot on Abdullah bin Hassan, the son of Imam al-Hassan. When Imam al-Hussein lay on the plains of Karbala, Abdullah ibn Hassan ran towards the battlefield saying, oh my uncle, how can they do this to you? Zainab ran towards Abdullah, said, don't go towards the battlefield, it's too dangerous. But Abdullah said, how can I let my uncle die? He rushes towards the battlefield, hugs the chest of his uncle. Imam Hussein said, go back to the tents. Abdullah says, I will not leave you, oh my uncle. Then Hurmala says, I shot an arrow and it killed Abdullah ibn Hassan. What was the third arrow that you shot? He said, this third arrow haunts me till today. This third arrow, till date, I have not been able to forgive myself for what I did. I shot the third arrow on a 6-month-old baby. Hussein came towards the battlefield saying, give water to this child. Yes, you do not like me. You have prejudice for me. You have malice for me. But do not hate this child. What has this baby done to you? I'm keeping this baby on the plains of Karbala. Do not give me water, give this child water, give this baby water. But what did Hurmala bin Kail do? Shot this baby with an arrow. What about the 4th arrow? Hurmala said, the 4th arrow I shot on Imam Hussein. I hit him with the 4th arrow. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Let us recite the Surah Fatiha for all the marhumin.